Ladies and gentlemen, breakups are tough, but what if I told you that the way you handle it can completely shift the dynamic? While he may think he's moving on, there are 3 powerful things you can do to make him feel the impact of losing you 10 times more. Silence is one of the most powerful tools you can use after a breakup. When a relationship ends, emotions run high, and it's natural to want closure, answers, or even just one more conversation. However, the real impact comes when you resist the urge to reach out and instead embrace complete silence. This is not about playing mind games or manipulating the other person. It's about reclaiming your power, preserving your dignity, and allowing the other person to truly feel your absence. When someone breaks up with you, they expect a reaction. They assume you will text, call, or at the very least, show some visible signs of distress. They might even be prepared for an emotional outburst or a heartfelt message expressing pain and longing. But when you give them nothing, when you completely remove your energy from the equation, it disrupts their expectations. They begin to wonder what's going on. They question why you aren't reacting the way they thought you would. This curiosity alone can plant a seed of doubt in their mind, making them second-guess the decision to leave. Silence is powerful because it forces the other person to sit with their own emotions without interference. If you're constantly reaching out, apologizing, or trying to keep the connection alive, they don't have to face the weight of their decision. They know you're still there, waiting, holding space for them. But when you cut off all contact, they have no choice but to fully experience the loss. They might not feel it immediately, especially if they were the one who initiated the breakup, but over time, as the days and weeks pass without a single word from you, the absence becomes undeniable. It's important to understand that no contact isn't just about ignoring them, it's about truly removing your energy from the situation. This means no texting, no calling, no liking their posts, no watching their stories, and no subtly finding ways to stay in their orbit. Every little interaction, even something as small as viewing their social media, gives them a sense of reassurance that you're still emotionally invested. But when you completely detach, you create a void, and human nature abhors a void. That emptiness will start to bother them. They will start to notice the silence, and eventually they will feel the impact of your absence in a way that words could never achieve. At first, they might enjoy the freedom. They might go out, have fun, and convince themselves that they made the right choice. But as time passes and they realize that you haven't come running after them, a shift occurs. They start to wonder if you've already moved on, if you've found someone new, or if you ever really needed them as much as they thought you did. This is where the real weight of the breakup starts to sink in for them. The silence acts as a mirror, reflecting back to them the reality that they are now alone, that the person who once cared deeply for them is no longer there, and that they might have underestimated what you brought into their life. This approach also benefits you because it allows you to regain control over your emotions. Breakups can be incredibly painful, and it's easy to get caught up in cycles of overthinking and emotional turmoil. But when you practice no contact, you give yourself the space to heal without constant reminders of the past. Instead of focusing on them, you redirect your energy toward yourself, toward your growth, your happiness, and your future. You stop seeking validation from someone who has already made a decision to leave, and instead, you begin to validate yourself. It's natural to worry that by staying silent, they will forget about you or move on completely. But the truth is, silence often speaks louder than words. When you stop reaching out, they notice. When you don't react, they wonder. When you disappear, they feel it. And more often than not, the person who initially thought they were fine without you starts to realize that they are not as unaffected as they believed. The key to making this work is genuine detachment. If you're constantly checking their social media or waiting for them to reach out, they will still hold emotional power over you. The goal is to let go completely, not as a strategy to get them back, but as a way to truly move forward. Ironically, it is this true detachment that often makes them feel the breakup the most. Because the moment they sense that you are genuinely over them, that's when they begin to question everything. Complete silence is not an act of revenge, it is an act of self-respect. It is a way of saying, I am valuable, and I do not need to beg for someone's attention or love. It is about understanding that if someone chooses to leave, the best response is to let them go without resistance. The absence of your presence will do more to make them feel the breakup than any message you could ever send. By embracing silence, you give yourself the greatest gift. You give yourself the chance to heal, to grow, and to emerge stronger than before. And in doing so, you also allow the other person to fully realize what they lost. They may not admit it, they may not say it out loud, but deep down they will feel it. And by the time they do, you will have already moved on to something better. After a breakup, the best thing you can do is focus entirely on yourself. Instead of wasting energy on what went wrong or whether he will come back, shift your attention inward. The most powerful way to make him feel the loss of you is not by words or actions directed at him, but by becoming the best version of yourself. Growth, transformation, and self-improvement are the ultimate ways to turn pain into power. When you level up, not only do you heal faster, but you also show him, and more importantly, yourself, that your happiness was never dependent on him. Self-improvement starts with a commitment to change. Breakups often leave people feeling broken, questioning their worth, and stuck in a cycle of overthinking. The first step to leveling up is shifting that mindset. Instead of seeing the breakup as a loss, view it as an opportunity to reinvent yourself. This is the moment to take control of your life, to focus on everything you may have neglected while you were in the relationship. It's time to set new goals, develop new skills, and step into the version of yourself that you've always envisioned. Physical transformation can be a powerful part of this process. Exercise is not just about looking good, it's about feeling good. When you work out, your body releases endorphins that boost your mood, reduce stress, and increase confidence. Hitting the gym, starting yoga, going for runs, or even just taking daily walks can make a significant difference in your energy and self-esteem. A breakup can leave people feeling powerless, but taking charge of your body reminds you of your strength. As you start seeing progress, you will not only feel better about yourself, but you will also project a new level of confidence that others, including your ex, will notice. Beyond physical changes, personal growth also involves expanding your mind. This is the perfect time to learn something new, take up a hobby, or dive into a passion you may have set aside during the relationship. Whether it's learning a new language, mastering a musical instrument, taking a dance class, or reading books that inspire you, every new skill you gain adds to your personal value. When you are busy improving yourself, you naturally stop obsessing over the past. Your energy shifts from dwelling on what was to creating what will be. This not only speeds up your healing process, but also makes you more attractive to others, including the person who once thought they could live without you. Another important part of leveling up is upgrading your social life. Breakups can make people want to isolate themselves, but surrounding yourself with positive, supportive people can make a world of difference. Spend time with friends who uplift you, meet new people, and engage in activities that bring joy into your life. Go out, travel, explore new places, and create unforgettable experiences. The more fulfilling your life becomes, the less you will feel the void left by the breakup. And when your ex sees you living your best life without them, they will inevitably start to wonder if they made a mistake. Perhaps the most powerful change of all is emotional growth. True leveling up means healing from within, letting go of past wounds, and developing a mindset of self-worth and abundance. Instead of seeking closure from him, give yourself closure by understanding that the right person would never leave. Instead of dwelling on what you could have done differently, realize that the breakup was a redirection towards something better. When you develop emotional strength and inner peace, you become untouchable. Nothing is more powerful than a person who has learned to be happy on their own. In the end, leveling up is not about making him regret losing you. It's about making yourself so happy, successful, and fulfilled that whether he regrets it or not no longer matters. By focusing on your growth, your goals, and your happiness, you become someone who is not just healed but thriving. And by the time he realizes what he lost, you will already have moved forward into a life that no longer includes him. One of the most effective ways to make someone feel the weight of a breakup is by showing complete indifference. When a relationship ends, the natural instinct is to react, whether through sadness, anger, or attempts to win them back. But the truth is, the opposite of love isn't hate, it's indifference. Hate still requires emotional investment, but indifference means you have detached completely. It sends the strongest message of all, that their presence or absence in your life no longer affects you. When someone breaks up with you, they expect a reaction. They might anticipate sadness, tears, or even anger. They might believe you will chase after them, beg for another chance, or try to prove your worth. Even if they are firm in their decision, part of them assumes you will still hold on to the emotional connection. But when you respond with indifference, when you show them that their decision does not shake your world, it challenges their expectations. It makes them question whether they ever had as much power over you as they thought. Indifference is powerful because it removes the emotional security they might have taken for granted. If they were used to you always being available, always responding, and always caring, your lack of reaction will feel like a void. They may not realize it immediately, but as time passes, they will start to feel the absence of your energy. They will start wondering why you are not reacting, why you seem unaffected, and why you have simply moved on without resistance. One of the biggest mistakes people make after a breakup is trying to prove something. They want to show they are happy without their ex, so they post about it online, hoping their ex will see. They go out of their way to demonstrate how well they are doing, but in reality, this still comes from a place of caring too much about what the other person thinks. True indifference is not about trying to prove anything, it's about genuinely not caring. You do not need to announce your happiness, you simply live it. You do not need to make them jealous, you just move forward. When they see that you are not making any effort to get their attention, it unsettles them more than any grand gesture ever could. Another aspect of indifference is emotional control. After a breakup, emotions can feel overwhelming, and it's easy to let them dictate your actions. But responding with indifference requires discipline. It means no emotional outbursts, no passive-aggressive messages, and no attempts to make them feel guilty. It means handling interactions with grace, whether you run into them in person or they reach out unexpectedly. Instead of giving them the satisfaction of knowing they still affect you, you remain composed, unbothered, and at peace. Indifference also extends to the way you carry yourself. When you truly move on, you naturally exude a different kind of confidence. You are no longer waiting for them to notice you, no longer seeking their approval, and no longer hoping for a reaction. You radiate the energy of someone who is fulfilled on their own, and this is incredibly attractive. People are drawn to those who are content within themselves. And when your ex sees that you are thriving without them, it forces them to reassess everything. Some people believe that showing indifference means suppressing emotions, but that's not the case. It does not mean you ignore your feelings or pretend you are unaffected. It means you process those emotions privately, without giving the other person access to your vulnerability. You allow yourself to grieve, heal, and grow, but you do it for yourself, not to send a message to them. You detach from the need for their validation, and in doing so, you take back your power. Over time, indifference creates a shift in dynamics. At first, your ex may feel confident in their decision, believing they made the right choice. But as the days turn into weeks and they realize you have not been waiting around, their certainty begins to fade. They might test the waters, reaching out with a casual message or trying to spark a reaction. But when you continue to show them that they no longer hold emotional weight in your life, it hits them harder than any words ever could. They start to wonder if they were the ones who lost something valuable. By choosing indifference, you are not just affecting your ex, you are transforming yourself. You are freeing yourself from attachment, from the need for closure, and from the illusion that your happiness depends on someone else. You step into a new version of yourself, one that is independent, confident, and in control of your emotions. The most satisfying outcome is not making them regret their decision, but realizing that their decision no longer matters to you. In the end, indifference is not about playing games or seeking revenge. It is about prioritizing yourself, focusing on your own growth, and understanding that the best response to a breakup is simply moving on. When you truly embrace indifference, you do not need to make them feel the breakup, they will feel it on their own. And by the time they do, you will have already built a life that no longer includes them.